Hello, hello. Welcome back, everyone, to our Live Well Wednesday. And the room is locked, so we are now live in Facebook land. Thank you, everyone, for jumping on to this. Actually, I guess we can say it's a New Year's Eve. So thanks, everyone. I hope this is live like it was before. It looks a little different, so I'm just going to go with it. Facebook must have made some updates. Kevin, hey, nice to see you. Thanks for jumping on. Do you see the comments in your section? I'm just kind of trying to figure out if you can see like I can see.
Thank you for having me, and no comments available for me.
Okay. I can't even see people coming on anymore, so this is definitely a new setup. So we're just going to go right into it. Thanks everybody again for joining. This will be the last one for 2020. A lot of people are ready to get 2020 out of the way. So we're definitely going to move into 2021 with whole new attitude and lots of wellness. Super excited. Next year we've got the whole month of January is already full. So thank you. I will be posting things. Looking forward to seeing, we're going to talk about, I'm trying to remember everybody who's coming on. There's so many people who wanted to be a part of this. I'm super excited about it. We've got people talking about mindfulness, astrological readings, yoga for chronic pain is coming back. But this time, because Kevin was here about a month ago, and there was lots of reactions, lots of conversation, and we kind of got knocked out of the room. So I just wanted to bring him back on to, ask any questions, to talk about what he's been up to over the past month, and pretty much kind of help everyone with wellness in their financial space. So Kevin, since we last saw you a month ago, I know, like you said, we had a lot of feedback and we kind of got cut off. Tell the viewers here what you've been up to in the past month.
All right, so it's an exciting time. It's amazing how much can really change or how much you can elevate within just a few weeks worth of time. So just a small recap. The last time I was on the show, I talked about general financial health, just the foundations of getting into investing, budgeting, saving, what to invest in. I really love the S&P 500. And of course, I talked about real estate as well. But since then, I've expanded my Young Pros in Real Estate brand to not only be an education platform, but I'm also now allowing people to participate in my real estate investment deals and essentially share in on those profits. So that's a very exciting level in my life to be at as well, where I'm not just earning for myself, I'm helping other people win, helping other people learn and gain. It's just a beautiful time in my personal journey. So I'm really happy to help some other people. You can definitely still book time with me the very same way through the very same page. If you go to youngprosinrealestate.com, you'll see that schedule with me button and you'll see my face pop up. I'm available to you. I'm really happy, really excited to help. And thank you again. So, any particular questions?
Yeah, so let's start back from last time. And kind of for those people, I'm so excited because that video so far has got the most views, the most interactions, questions, comments. It's been great. And every time I repost it, there's more people who are interested in things and asking questions. So just for some of the new people who may have not seen it or who are going to pop on and off here in the next couple of minutes, give us a little recap about the Young Pros in general, and kind of like what you talked about the last time, if you remember some of the key pointers.
Okay, cool. I love taking it from the very beginning. So for those who may not have seen the first video or may never have seen me, I have literally, which it sounds crazy to say already, but I have literally over a decade of financial experience now. I mean, as soon as I even had any source of steady income, for some reason, I always knew I needed to invest it, never to just leave money sitting in a bank account because it's not doing anything. You're not growing it. It's just sitting there. I mean, you always have your safety net, your bit of savings, but anything beyond just the 2 or 3 months of safety net should really be out growing, you know? So continuing down my path, I got my undergrad degree in business administration from Bowie State University. I got my master's in financial management from University of Maryland Global Campus. I worked at a lot of cool places throughout my journey. Started at NASA, Northrop Grumman, been a mortgage banker, licensed for 5 years now. Man, time is flying. And I worked for the Navy very recently, managing multi-million-dollar budgets. So I've just been very fortunate, or my hard work has really been paying off to have had those experiences. And all the while, I'd always been investing, again, everything that I had beyond that safety net amount of money. And like, it really did manifest into where I am now. One of my 3 properties, so a couple rental properties, everything's going well. And again, I'm now at this place where I just want to start to give back. We got the whole education platform. I'm showing you how to do exactly what I did in half the time, maybe even a quarter of the time. And then we also now have this more so, not just e-course, but personal connection. Like when you work with me, when you become a member of the Young Pros community, you have me for life. I'm gonna help you hit those goals because I love seeing other people win and I love teaching finance. And again, it's all boiled down to ultimately helping everybody win as much as I do, because I realize the more people that I can help, it just magically comes back to me. So I'm here for you.
So in our first Facebook Live there, and I think it was very interesting because we had started talking about your real estate journey and the properties and the 3x30, and then it quickly switched to investing questions. There were so many questions coming, you know, being fired off, this, that, the other, what do you do with money? And I think that's a really good segue into what you're doing now. So do you remember some of the questions, and maybe you could kind of go in a little bit deeper with some of the feedback that some of the people were asking, and then kind of tie it back into the new adventures and things you're working on now?
Okay, cool. So the reason that I really, really love real estate as a source of investment is more than just the appreciation of value. Like, you know, say stocks, they'll grow each month in value, but you don't really get to touch that money. You ideally just want to let it keep growing steadily. And then maybe a year, maybe 5 years down the line, you then harvest all that growth. But one thing I love about owning real estate as a passive source of income is that it will pay you every month. You will get those checks as long as you got good tenants. That's another topic, just making sure you get the right people in there who you can trust to deliver those monthly rent payments. But assuming you get good tenants, that's passive income for you, ideally for the rest of your life. And on top of that, you do still get that appreciation of value, meaning while you're getting monthly checks, you're also getting a higher valued asset. So if you know the rule of 72, which is basically an easy way to calculate how long it takes for an asset to double in value. My man Einstein actually invented this. So basically you take your rate of growth and divide it into 72, or actually other way around. So 72 divided by that rate of growth. So say for the housing industry, for example, that's 4% average growth annually. So sometimes you'll get more than 4%, sometimes less, but the average is 4%. So if you take that 72 divided by 4, that basically means your house is gonna double in value after just 18 years, which is incredible. That means if you just buy a house valued at $500,000, 20 years later, you now have $1 million house. I mean, very easy concept to grasp. And it's basically how most people literally became millionaires. If you know that story, real estate is the #1 generator of millionaires for that very reason. And aside from that, so I gave you 2 big benefits already. Constant cash flow, appreciation of value. There's also the ability to use lines of credit against the house, which literally can give you a quick, easy, say $30,000 or $50,000, just because you've built up equity in the house, which is literally yours in a way, as in it's technically a loan to be taken out, but it's very low interest rate, like as low as 3%, which is almost nothing to take out that amount of money. And on top of that, let me explain equity too, because I know some people may not understand it holistically. You build equity in a house gradually. And equity is basically the difference between what the home is worth and what you owe on it. So if you have a home valued at $100,000, but you've made enough payments that you now only owe $50,000 on it, That means you, half of that, have $50,000 of equity. You can take that out in just a matter of a couple weeks. It's a very easy process. I've done it for myself, and it's helped me get other properties. That's the way you should be using your equity, basically, is use that equity to basically scale up, to accelerate your growth in whatever investment you choose. It's a very powerful thing. So a lot of good stuff, man. Real estate is awesome. And I know it's getting long-winded, but you had one more part to that question. On top of that, tying it back into how I help other people, because again, my investments now at this point in my life are returning me thousands of dollars per month passively, which is amazing to finally reach this point in my life, because I've been working so long and hard, just tirelessly, 14-hour days. I've been that guy, and all for this very moment to see everything manifest and pay off, and not only pay off, but now be in a position to help other people do the same. So again, if you're interested in elevating your finances and getting into growing your money, making your money work for you, I can get you plugged in. We can work on deals together, and it's going to be an awesome time. For a lot of my people, they're getting between 6 to 10% returns per month, which is way more, way better than your 401k or your IRA is doing for you. If you don't know, the average 401k pays you about 7% per year on average. On a good year, you'll get 13% per year. But with our program, we're giving our members 6 to 10% per month. So huge thing, changing lives.
So that's great news, especially with the new year coming. And, you know, we kind of joke about the resolutions and things like that. And it's very important now that everyone, with COVID and with jobs changing and the craziness with, you know, with loans, and if we're going to have money for PPP, and it's just been a crazy end of the year. I think, to your point also, this is a great time for individuals to take a really hard look at their savings, or, you know, their 401ks, their RIAs, or whatever they're, you know, they have their money in, and see if it is the best for them for now. Because I know there are people out there that have put money away, and they're not going to see that money for 20 or 30 years. And for some people, it's very important to have money today because people are struggling. So what would you say would be like the first step with the new year and, you know, taking a look? Do you give some advice on what people should look at and how they should come to some decisions to manage that money? Like, what would be the first steps to take for someone?
Let's see. First steps for getting into just better financial habits. One thing you got to start with is definitely knowing how to manage your money. Or even before that, you got to know how to manage yourself and your emotions, because if you can't manage your emotions, you'll never manage money. The two are way more correlated than you may think. So because it's all discipline, essentially, is having the discipline to put money aside every month and not touch it, even if at times it may get a little tough and you may be, you know, on the edge of, say, missing a payment. Like, that all comes into discipline. I mean, there's always exceptions. You always have your emergency fund that you have to dip into if it's an actual emergency. But if it's not an emergency, don't touch your savings. You know, put aside 10, ideally even 20% of your money in an account that you never even see. Just automate it. That's one thing I've always done. You know, when I was in the workforce, immediately you can configure your deposits for your account to essentially route a fixed percent or a fixed dollar amount, like $200 a month, to a separate bank account. So that's one habit I got into very early on, which is cool because occasionally you may surprise yourself because you're not looking at this account. 6 months may pass and you say, oh, I wonder what's going on with this account, and boom, wow, I saved up $10,000. Just small example, but that's the type of habit that I'm saying you want to get into, of being able to set aside money and forget about it so that you aren't tempted to tap into it or spend it. So that's just one way that you begin to get money to even invest. So once you've built up that savings and basically money that you don't have to live on, one easy thing, even before I got like really big into real estate, I always loved the S&P 500 index because it's a diversified investment within itself. Because literally the S&P 500 is a compilation of the top 500 companies in the US. So when you buy a share of the S&P 500, you're not just betting on one company, you're betting on America basically, which is fairly safe compared to any individual company. So if nothing else, if you aren't ready to, go in at a higher level of finance, at least start with the S&P 500.
But as far as, so that's great. But as far as, I'm kind of looking for what to do now to make sure everything is good. I wouldn't say just how to jump into everything, but how to look at your finances and make decisions that are good for now. Because like I said, things are changing. Is it more important now to look at your money and say, hey, I need that money now? Or do I keep this 10% invested and sitting there for who knows when? Is now a better time to take that money and actually grow it and, put it in the stock market or put it with, other plans? Like, is there, I think in my mind, yes, now is the time, because we're in such a weird world that people really need to take a look at themselves. If they have financial planners, if they have people already handling their money, that at the beginning of the year, especially 2021, we really should take a look at that. And that's kind of where I was going. Like, what kind of advice do you give to people as they're looking at their money? What decisions to make and how to move things that way?
Okay, excellent question. So based on what I'm hearing, the answer is yes. It's absolutely the right time to invest right now. In fact, I believe there's always a time to invest, basically. It's just a matter of which investment is right at that given time. But literally, no matter what the market condition is, up market or down market, even stagnant, someone's always finding a way to make money. There's always some type of housing market that's either thriving well or at least not doing as bad as something else. There's always some stock that's booming. There's always something out there. And that's part of the, I guess, what is it, skill to it or art to finance, is being able to identify and find where your money should be at any given moment. And that's, again, what I'm here for, to help you with and help everybody with. Just give me a call, I'll set you up. I know everybody has, different situations. Every case is different, but I'm also pretty good at finding out what a person should be doing at their given level, because I'm happy to say that I've been through all the levels, even though my parents are very successful on their own, I still went through my own journey, if you know what I mean. Nothing was ever really just given to me. I had the basics, I had food, I had a roof over my head, but I definitely adopted their work ethic, and that continues to just shine throughout every aspect of my life.
So yeah, for our Live Well Wednesday and the wellness piece to take out of this, and I know we talked a month ago about investing, some of the stuff that we had talked about already, the house, buying homes. Right now, nothing's really changed in the housing market that I've seen. I think we're pretty much in a spot where if you can buy a house, now is still a good time to buy a home. So for the wellness aspect at the beginning of the year, recommending everybody take a look at their finances, take a look at where your money is. If you have, for me, and this is my personal, if you have money sitting in a savings account like I had, it's time to take a look at that money and put it somewhere else. I'll be completely honest with you guys. It made me feel better knowing that this money's been sitting there and now it's somewhere else actually making money, and somewhere that I feel comfortable putting it, that it's not going to lose money. So, a no-brainer to me. If you have money sitting in the savings account, if you have money that's tied up with, things you can never get to for years and years and years, and there's not a huge issue when you take it out. I know if you take out a 401k, you're getting taxed and you're going to get fined and this, that, and the other. But if you do have things that are set aside and you do need money now for whatever reason, take a look at that money and maybe put it somewhere else that's going to get a better return, a quicker return now for you. And then if you're making money on top of that money, reinvest it. And it's a win-win situation all around. So I think this is a really good time for everyone to look at their financial wellness, look at their money, look at everything. And to Kevin's point, he's been through a lot of things with the housing market, with stocks, with just investing and different things, and can give you the information. If he can't help you, he knows somebody that can. And just the referral network is massive. I mean, Kevin, I know, obviously I know some of the people that you work with, but I would second that you could help anyone in some aspect.
Yes, indeed. There's an opportunity, a program, an investment at every level. I can attest to it because I've been doing it at every level. Literally, my first job wasn't a big paying job, but I still invested whatever I had, even if it was like a sliver, just enough, maybe just a little bit more than enough to get by. Any excess was put into some type of growth account. So basically, you can start at any level. In fact, the earlier you start, no matter what level you are at, the better, because you want to start to build those habits early. Because if you can't be smart with $10, you won't be smart with $10,000. Like, the same mindset applies at every level. So don't think you have to wait until you inherit some big amount of fund or hit the lottery or get the next big job to start investing. Investing is a mentality first and foremost. So if you can't build the mentality now, then your chances are slim, basically. So get started. Let's get the mind right.
Yeah, absolutely. We had some viewers come in and out, and we didn't have any questions this time, which is surprising. I had a lot of people, interested. Maybe tonight is just one of those, everybody's getting ready for the holiday, and it's been, a crazy week per se with the holidays and with COVID. So I am 100% confident that we're going to get a whole bunch of questions afterwards that are coming through. I will put Kevin's information in this live afterwards in the event page, and you'll be able to reach out to him. Just, hey, have a conversation. You never know where it will go. And Kevin, thank you so much for coming back on here, because we did just have you last month, but everybody was so excited and very interested to learn more about investing. And I think this will catapult them and hopefully give some people the push to take a better look at where they're spending and saving their money. So I definitely appreciate that. What I want to kind of close with, we have a couple more minutes, and I did mention that next month, January, I have a full month. So awesome. I have reached out to some other people. If you guys have any topics that you would like to talk about in the wellness field, surprisingly, some topics you may not think are wellness related, but absolutely they are, because if they're doing something better for someone to better themselves, it's wellness, 100%. And just so you guys know, I've been working on the bracelets. I've been coming on with Singularity Artistry, going to be pushing them a little bit more next year with the wellness and the healing side. Made myself a Lyme disease bracelet awareness last night, so I feel all the energy with that coming through. And I've been doing some other things for my wellness, looking into Reiki and having a shamanic journey tomorrow. So I'll be updating you guys on how that is on my wellness. And overall, just working on the brand. Next year, you're going to see a lot more from me with the Love Across brand. My website hopefully will be up, blogging, and just having everybody be able to interact with each other, the people who come on to Live Well Wednesday, so you can have those resources, working on a Facebook group and a page. So lots of stuff happening in the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned for all of that. I'm probably going to keep it very conversational and comfortable, because since day one with Live Well Wednesday, I wanted it to be just that. So please, if you maybe don't feel comfortable doing these kind of lives, I'd be totally open just to have you, come and do a podcast, or we could record something if you're comfortable that way. Because I think the more people that get to speak and the more information that's out there for everyone will just make us all feel better, love each other more, and just live well. So thank you all for 2020 being the year to catapult me into starting this journey. This is our 6th Live Well Wednesday for the year, and next year we're going to have a whole bunch more. So thank you all. Thank you, Kevin, again for coming on and talking with us, and we will be talking to you guys in 2021. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year's.
Bye-bye.